Hi everybody. This has got to be the last video of the night because I've got to finally get some sleep. It's been 2 days. One full night that I didn't sleep, and then last night I went to bed at 3. So tonight I've got to go to bed. But before I do, I'm going to try one more time making one big balloon on this canvas. And yeah, one big balloon. I got my paints mixed up. They're my regular mix. If you want to know that in detail, look at the video that's entitled Today's Blooms. In the description, I wrote everything down real good, and you can follow it real easy. I'm always tweaking and changing things a little bit. This is all Craftnique though this time. Last time I used mostly Josana's just because I had some left and I wanted to use it. So it was mostly Josana's with just a little Craftnique mixed in, and I didn't like it nearly as much. And I used my airbrush to blow it out, and that's not enough propulsion, I've decided. So this time I'm gonna use my hairdryer on cool, and we'll just see what happens. Okay. What else? I'm so tired I can't think straight. But I think I've got everything together. And these colors are mixed with the Craftnique Bright Tone. They also have several of them, I can't remember which ones now, have pearlescent medium added to them, so they'll look metallic. This one does, I know. And isn't that pretty? I made this blue. It's not a total of any one blue. It is some, it's mostly Liquitex Ultramarine, but then I added some Prussian blue, Liquitex Prussian blue, to deepen it some, and I really like it. I think it's a pretty color. And so we got that, and let me see if I can do something here real quick, because this is wanting to travel that direction, and I'm going to try to brace it with something because I don't have time to work on it right now. Okay, we got that. We got Master's Touch Violet, and it is also tinted with the pearlescent medium. I have Master's Touch Viridian. These have all got silicone in them too, by the way, because I just want to. I'll be sure I get enough paint. I had plenty of paint last time. That wasn't nearly an issue, but I don't have as much of a pillow this time, so it's still traveling. Let's see here what we can do now. Please quit moving. Stay still. This is Master's Touch Primary Red, which I think is a beautiful red. It's got pearlescent medium in it. I can tell by looking at them, but I can't remember. And this one is Master's Touch Turquoise. One of my favorite colors of all time. And finally, Liquitex Lime Green. Another one of my favorite colors. I have lots of favorite colors. Okay. Now, my cell activator this time is sort of a hodgepodge. I mixed, since my cell activator that I did last time, the gold, it didn't, by the way, let's put a little spritz of that on there too. The gold cell activator did not work like I wanted it to. I don't know why, but I added in this one, it is Amsterdam, I believe it's called Mars Black, but it's black. And I added a little bit of titanium white to it, and then I darkened it up again with some Amsterdam black ink. And then I added Floetrol. So it's about 1 part paint, 3 parts Floetrol. And then I added silicone. So that's what all of that is. I just want a little bit of black mixed in here and there. Okay. And as far as that goes, that should work for a cell activator because it's got the stuff in it. Should anyway. Should. Okay, we don't have much of a pillow left because we had lots of paint, but I think we got enough paint to cover the canvas, and that's what's important. Let's just go for it and see what it does. Take that off at first and see. Yeah, well, that cell activator worked this time. It was beautiful. Okay, wait a minute, because I'm going to add a little gold. I ain't getting enough gold. I like gold. I hope I didn't screw it all up. I don't much care for what I do to it. I'm not very good. Anyway, we'll fix it. We'll see what we can do. I always do something. I'm not torching this very much at all this time because I think torching may lead to these little spots. They don't particularly bother me. Oh, let's let that run back together. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on. That's going to fix my problem of having a big splatter of gold right there in the middle. In fact, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. That's what I do. I just will mess with something and, and take something that's perfectly beautiful and screw with it until it's ugly. I can do that. I can really do that. I'm watching that paint move, and it's still moving back into its, you know, original place. I'm starting to regret adding so much black. Maybe I didn't need all that black because it's darker than I wanted it to be, but it's still pretty. And we're not nearly done with it yet. That paint's just got to move on back in there a little bit before we start tilting. And I'm glad it is, because that gold spread out more than I wanted it to. Sometimes this can take a while. I get impatient. I want to do something. And that's how you get into trouble. Patience is the key. I know that, I believe on that last one, for sure, that the torch caused little spots. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep torching or not. I've only seen that happen tonight, though. And I've been torching these the whole time. And I don't know what it might be. It could be that Josana's that's causing the spots. Because there's a little bit of it still in this mix, too, because I had a little left over. I'm not using that anymore. I mean, I wouldn't be using it anymore anyway, because I'm using the Craft Ink now and I like it much better. So, but I don't know about the spots. It would, logically, it says that Josana's is causing the spots, because that's the thing that's new tonight, because I wanted to use up the rest of that. But that's what logic dictates. I don't know. I'll tell you what I'll do to find out, though. The next one I do will not have any Josana's, because I don't have any more of that, and I'm not buying any more. So the next one I do, I will mix it with my Craft Ink and everything else, and I'll torch it and see if I get spots. And then we'll know, perhaps, what caused the spots. Spots aren't bad. I mean, they didn't make it look bad. I just didn't particularly care for them. Yeah, this black cell activator works really well. I'm gonna, when I do a colored cell activator again, I'm gonna mix it like that. I'm gonna put some of the titanium white in it, and then just darken it up with that original color afterwards, because there's something in that titanium white that's essential to the cell activator, I think. I know that there are people who are making the cell activators out of different colors, and they're just using whatever they have, you know. And maybe that works fine, I don't know. But when I've tried to make a cell activator by just using paint and Floetrol, if it's not titanium white, it doesn't work as well. I have had gold and black work okay, but nowhere near like what the titanium white does. So I thought, well, why not just put some titanium white back in there? You know, if you don't put very much, then your color can still override it, you know, for the most part. I think this is going to be pretty. I kind of regret putting the gold on it, but I don't know, it might turn out nice. Gotta try new things. Gotta experiment. But I like the way those colors look. I think if I had it to go over again, I wouldn't put those swirls of black around the outside. I'd just put the black in the middle. Or maybe make the cell activator out of the lime green or something instead. It just depends on the look you're going for, and I just imagined this being a little lighter in hue. It's perfectly fine and beautiful, these colors. It's just not what I had planned, and you know how we get about our plans. I don't know why we get that way, because these things rarely go according to plan. I probably could count on one hand how many times I've done a pour and had it come out like I wanted it to exactly, or like I thought it was gonna exactly, you know, it just exactly doesn't really fit into the equation with these things to me. They just have too much of a mind of their own. Well, it's good we're gonna have enough paint. That's the nice thing. And I'm liking this new technique I got here. Doing, you know, the setup the way this is, you know, one big bloom on one big canvas. It makes for some interesting results. And the last one I did, it looks more like just an abstract painting. It doesn't really look like an acrylic pour because it doesn't have a lot of cells. It does have lacing, but it's not very intricate and it's not very well formed. It's just kind of random. I'm liking this. But I know that the last time I just used my airbrush and I didn't have the lacing like I wanted it, I think because number one, I wasn't using Craft Neat, and number two, the propulsion on that airbrush is just not strong enough. It doesn't force the air out hard enough to make the lacing form. But it's a different, it's a whole different look, you know, and it was pretty, and it's something I'm going to play with because it was pretty and it had a lot of potential. It's just not exactly what I was trying to do at the moment because I'm trying to get something more like a bloom. And this looks more like a bloom. This is kind of what I was meaning to get. I mean, you may not like the colors, you may not, you know, like the gold in the middle. You know, there may be things you don't like about it, but you got to admit, it does look like one of those small blooms that we do. Only it's big. And that's what I set out to do. It's got some huge cells in it. That's something that I have not seen before. Not that big. Over in here. Up in here. They're really pretty. Okay, there's a little bit there that I'm not all that crazy about. I'm gonna push it off. Look at these cells though, right in here, these little bitty along that line. Those are kind of neat. But I'm gonna push that bottom part off because I don't like it. And I need to stretch this a little more anyway. I'm kind of tempted to just leave the gold at the, you know, what could be the top up there instead of pulling it back to the middle. But no, don't get diverted, Stacy. We have a purpose, okay? It's supposed to look like a bloom. I can always come back and play with it and it's really unusual. Just like the last one. I love this. Right there is that pretty, and there, that lime green mixed with the turquoise and blue, and it's really pretty. I wish that section was bigger. I'd like to stretch it out a little bit if I could. Tell you what, these things take time now. They move slow. But I think this proves that they can be done. It's close enough to what I was going for me to call it an affirmative test, I think. I know there's a couple of things I can do different to make it look more bloom-like not put a big blob of gold in the center of it after it's already formed. That's one thing I could do. But that gold is supposed to be a cell activator, so I kind of thought it would lace out, and it just didn't really do much. Should have just left it with the black, because there was some beautiful lacing with that. I'm not liking the blob of gold in the middle, and I'm not sure what to do about it. What to do? Oh, I wish I could ask y'all what y'all think. Because this has got some beautiful parts to it, and I'm afraid if I lob some more paint on there, I'm going to mess those other pretty parts up. But then again, I hate that blob of gold. I just can't stand it. I may regret this. It wouldn't be the first time. Gosh, you know, here's a color I forgot. Shoot. I had some yellow mixed up and I forgot it. So I guess it's a good thing I'm doing this again. What else? Unfortunately, I already used all my blue. I still have this turquoise here. I can use it. I just wasn't going to be able to live with that big blob. I don't like things like that when you end up with a big blob or a big streak of one color, you know, messing with stuff. I just don't like it. And I think it was going to bother me. So it had to go. Still got some green. Alright. Let's see. I love so many colors. It's so hard for me to decide what to put where, what to use. Okay, now I had okay, good enough. Let's go for it. Okay. not going to torch it. I'm just going to leave it alone. I hope I have enough paint this time. God knows there's enough on that canvas for it ought to move smoothly enough. I just don't know if there's, I hope there's enough to cover to make it blend in with what I've already got on there. I think it'll be fine. See, I didn't thicken up that sheleeart of the black as much as I probably should have, and it's moving a little faster than the rest of it is, but I don't think it's going to be a critical error. Let's just go on and get this corner while we're down here. Sorry, I got to tilt it like this for a second just to get this corner in. I think those colors are really beautiful together. I like them. See, I'm putting my arm up there to try to preserve what would be dripping off the edge already while I'm waiting on this to come down to the corner. That's a trick that somebody taught me, and it works really well. And then you can just put it back up on the canvas. Okay, now don't you get all sideways and wonker-sided on me there, black. I want that black blob to stay together because this is supposed to look like a damn bloom. And it will if the black will stay together. I'm getting tired now. It catches up to me after a while. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I can't stay up all night and expect not to have any consequences. I can do it, but the next day or so, sooner or later, I'm gonna crash. Yeah, we're gonna be fine as far as paint goes. We're gonna have plenty of paint to get covered that corner and everything. Get it to blend. It'll be fine. And there's some pretty red and yellow lacing right there that I'd like to be able to preserve. And that black has laced real pretty around the cell activator blob. And see, I don't like that blob. I don't like blobs, but this is a bloom and they generally have a blob. So I'm going to quit worrying about it. Certainly not going to do anything to it this time. But I'm all about taking chances. I don't ever know, you know, I mean, like, you know, putting that gold on there. It turned out I didn't like that little experiment, but, you know, you never know until you do it. And I just always sort of do it. And do it now, deal with it later. It's kind of the way it goes. I didn't say it was the best way. Okay. Now, to me, that when it gets back into the center, that's going to look like a bloom. A big bloom. And that's what I was going for. I know y'all can't see very well, but this big canvas is real hard for me to manipulate over this taller pouring pan. I'm short. I'm gonna have to get me a step stool or something. Yeah, I'm liking that more and more all the time. I think it's beautiful. It's kind of like fire around it. Like maybe a comet blasting through space or something. I don't know. I think it's pretty. Let me just get that blob to come down a little more. And then I'll have to reevaluate just a little bit. Sorry. But I gotta. I'm trying to stretch this lacing out that's over here. It's gotten kind of twisted up, and I want it to be real obvious that that's what it is. Okay. Well, I've put off another day working on that sun piece I've got out there, that stained glass piece. I put it off another day. I got to do that, and I don't know why I'm hesitating with it, because I'll get